Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Had some little technical problems that had to be addressed, and I had to feed the cat. He's angry. He's very angry. Let's see who's in the chat. Yes, I was spreading the glory of Lord Floofington, Ryan. How you doing, Ryan? Hi, James. Hi, Ranting Monkey. Hey, Twisted. Hey, Tall Person. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Hey, Old Guy. TOS. Della Hazed, first as usual. Hey, Evolved. How's everyone doing? I'm always glad to see everybody. Oh, thank you, Tall Person. Oh, yep, had to refresh itself. That's a great time to do that. Hoy! Can't watch live. We'll watch in full later. Happy National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Oh, thank you. Happy National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day to you as well. Hey, Stargazer, how you doing? I appreciate the donation. That's awesome. So, yeah, I didn't plan on running late, but something came up, and you know how it goes. Then I had to feed this stupid cat because he won't let me in otherwise. Have a good night, Tall Person. So, yeah, aside from Lord Floofington being very angry at my tardiness, been kind of a busy day. And I have a bit of a sinus thing because I fell asleep with the fan on again. But that won't stop us from looking at next week's comics and going over some crazy news stories. So let's see what we have on deck first. I do have the dual monitors working now, which is awesome. We'll see how long that works before I fuck it up real bad. But over here we've got the... Oops. Am I sharing the right screen? I don't know what's happening. All right, there's DC Comics here. This is next week's. And we start off with Batman 89, which is a direct sequel to Batman Returns. I think Batman Returns actually came out later, but it's the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. And this is an obvious sequel to it, like I said. It's a 6-issue limited series. It actually looks like it's going to be pretty good, so I'm going to get that. Batman Adventures, this book is so garbage. They make it look like the Bruce Timm animated series, but it was so weak and boring. Urban Legends is trash. And what is going on with Robin's nose there in his face? He looks like the Penguin right here. Batman looks okay, but Urban Legends is a Tom Taylor book, and no, I'm not interested. I think that's the Tom Taylor one. Either way, it's a garbage book. New 52, 10th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. New 52 wasn't that good, so not that interested. Although I did like Aquaman returning to his clean-shaven look and the gold and green. I like that outfit. Detective 1041, I'm not going to get that because Mariko Tamaki sucks. She's a boring writer. A Future State Gotham, I could care less about. They're really pushing this Future State crap, and it's really, really boring and lazy, and I have zero interest in that. I did appease Comrade Floofington. He is quite appeased, although he was treed by a bigger cat the other day, and I had to scare it off and chase it out of the yard, and that was probably pretty comical for the neighbors. There's a fat guy in his shorts running around. They're going, get out of here, cat. So his lands are secured, Ryan. Don't worry. Hardware, I might pick this up on an impulse. I'm not sure. It's a definite maybe because I did like the original, but the art looks like crap. And from what I've seen in the Milestone reboots, it's just Whitey's evil, cops are evil nonsense. I Am Batman Zero is about this guy, Jace Fox. He's one of the sons of Luke Fox, not Batwing, the other brother, and he's taking over as Batman, and it's going to run parallel. Sounds like he's going to be Batman in the Batman book, and Bruce Wayne will be a detective. But they're really pushing this Future State crap, and it's really not that interesting. It should have stayed a miniseries, but they want to have Black Batman, so they're going to shove it down your throat whether you like it or not, because nobody learned from Marvel. So I'm not getting that. Fuck that. Infinite Frontier. I've heard this is good. I've got the first couple issues, and they're nowhere near the top of my reading list. So I'm just going to wait. I'm not that interested in it. Hellblazer, I don't care. It's just this is the Peter Milligan stuff. It's pretty good as I recall, but I haven't read it in a long time, and I'm just not that big of a Hellblazer fan. Justice League Last Ride. This is a mini-series. I've heard good things about it. I think it's like an Elseworlds story, but I'm not sure. But I'm not going to get that either. Pennyworth, I might pick this up. This looked fairly interesting. It takes place between the TV show and like Gotham, that era where Alfred Pennyworth is a secret agent and he's fighting the Ruskies. And that could be pretty interesting. So I might give that one a chance. Who's working on it? Art by Juan Gadidan. So I'm probably not going to like the art. Scott Bryan Wilson, I'm not familiar with. But it looked like it might be okay. Rorschach, screw Tom King. I'm not buying that. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, I'm absolutely going to pick that up. That is such a fun comic. And the Huntress is in this one, so that should be pretty good. And it's Bane, obviously, is the bad guy. They're nice self-contained one-issue stories, so I'm definitely going to check that out. Plus, it's only $3. The Joker, while this series is good, it's not worth $5 to $6. So just get it in trade paperback and save some money, because you're going to save money by buying it in trade. You get it on Amazon and save a few bucks more. This Wonder Woman book, the cover reminds me of the issue where they showed, there was a Superman book where he was different heroes, and one of them was Wonder Woman. But this is Wonder Man, not the Marvel one. See, they have no problem using Wonder Man on here because whatever reason, but they have a problem using Captain Marvel. So Marvel already has a Wonder Man, but they also have a Captain Marvel. Well, their Captain Marvel came later, and there ended up being a lawsuit. But they don't want to fight with Marvel over Captain Marvel, but they will over Wonder Man? Okay, whatever. But I'm not buying it because I don't care about the creative team. So not much in the way of DC this week. It looks like Batman 89 and Batman Scooby-Doo, maybe Hardware and maybe Pennyworth, but we'll see on those. So not much on that front. Let's check on some of the others. All right, Image Comics. Man Among Us, trash. Girl pirates are better than men. Nah. Stupid. Birthright, don't care. Bitter Root, it's a ginseng stuff. I don't really care. It didn't sound that interesting. Deep Beyond had a good premise, but for some reason, it just wasn't that interesting. It was sort of an Abyss type story where the sea is corrupting people. And the general concept seemed fine, but it was just slow, and it didn't need to be a 12-issue story arc. It could have been a 6-issue and probably would have been a lot better. So not that interested in that. That's something I might grab out of a discount bin. Oh, thanks, Assassin. How you doing, man? Multiple trips to your comic store, shop and read it there. Yeah, maybe. That'll be an awesome stream. I hope so. Thank you, Costin, for the support. I hope you're right. So that one had potential, but they kind of watered it down with a bunch of blathering nonsense. Just talky, and less talking, more doing. Ordinary Gods, I have no interest in that. Silver Coin, also no interest in that. It seemed boring. 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. I don't care. I don't know who Trigger Keaton is, so it doesn't matter. And the art looks like dog shit. Look at this crap. That is trash looking. He's giving you the finger on the cover. Grow up, dude. What is this, 1980, where that would be edgy? And what's with the pigtails on this dude? And why is Gay Shaggy on here? Is this Kung Fu Girl, or is that a dude with a unibrow? I don't know what's happening, but it looks like trash. So that art is just the blocky style. I don't know why that's popular right now. Maybe because it's cheap. but I don't know. It's just not my thing. So not interested in that. So nothing from Image for me. Dark Horse, you've got Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Edition hardcover for $50. If you're a big Blade of the Immortal fan, that's probably worth it. No, that's who they're knocking off, Uncle Ira. It's not actually the Marvel Wonder Man. They're using the DC Wonder Man, which is a male version of Wonder Woman. So instead of calling Captain Marvel, they call him Shazam, but they're willing to infringe on Wonder Man. I mean, you're going to piss Disney off either way. You might as well go all out. Go for the good one. Hang on, I got to move a cord here. Sorry about the noise. Hellboy, BPRD, Secret of Chessbro House. That could be good. It's only a 2-issue thing, but I missed issue 1. Kind of ignored it, frankly. But it could be good. I might check that out if I can find issue 1 on the stand. So, yeah. That'd be an impulse buy. House of Lost Horizons, don't really care about. Masters of the Universe Revelation. I might actually pick that one up. The first issue was okay. It's a prequel to the piece of shit TV miniseries, but it actually has He-Man in it, being moderately heroic. So if I get a discount, I'll pick that up. Is anyone really going to defend Wonder Man? Yeah, Wonder Man was cool. Not the Wonder Woman version, but the Marvel version. Hey, El Wolf, how you doing, man? So I might get the Masters of the Universe one. It depends. Secret Land, don't care. Unbelievable Unteens of Black Hammer. I don't care about Black Hammer. They're really trying to make that a thing. So maybe Masters of the Universe. No worries. I was like 10 minutes late. So you're fine. You're actually only like 2 minutes late. So nothing really from Dark Horse. IDW. Kanto, I don't care. Get it in trade if you want that. It'll be easier and probably cheaper. G.I. Joe, I'll pick that up. G.I. Joe's been pretty consistently entertaining, I suppose. I've got to review a whole bunch of G.I. Joes, but I'm thinking of actually reviewing from the beginning of Marvel all the way through IDW. And that'll take, obviously, a long time. And I'd have to get some of the IDW trades. So I might do that. And then just review the trades up until where my IDW collection starts. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic 101. I think this is the last issue. I don't know when they're canceling this. I thought it was 100, but I guess there's another issue or two. Season 10 continues. I don't know. But I know they're canceling that series. That was announced a while back. I covered it in one of the news articles. Star Wars High Republic? No. I was helping my mom move some hay for the chickens. Oh, cool. Sounds like a pain in the ass. Slow watching the long Chris Chan Chronicle. Oh, dude, that's depressing. Mark says, century of not doing something so stupid I died from it. Oh, yeah, don't do stupid things. That's bad. Marvel Comics. Ugh. Amazing Spider-Man trade. That was the stupid new costume thing, which I think they've already ditched. America Chavez, I don't care about. Avengers Tech On. No, I'm fine, thanks. Stupid. I think that's a sequel to Mech Strike. Black Cat Annual, I don't care. This Captain America Epic Collection's pretty good. This has Captain America 333 through 350 and Iron Man 228. This is this storyline that was sort of the inspiration for Falcon and Winter Soldier, where John Walker takes over as Captain America after Cap resigns and he becomes the captain. And he has to fight Walker to get his shield and mantle back. It's actually a pretty good storyline overall. At least that's how I remember it. I haven't read it in like 20 years. But that's some good stuff from the 80s. So, yeah, the 68 series, so that'd have been, what about 86, 87? Captain Marvel number 31, don't care. Miss Marvel, what is going on? That looks so trash. Children of the Atom 6, fuck that book, it's stupid. Daredevil 31, that might be good. I've heard good things, but if you really want to get the Daredevil stuff, just get the trades. You're going to save a little bit of money, and you'll get a more complete story because Zdarsky's really dragging that storyline out. So 31, second print, and 33 are coming out. Defenders, the art is dog shit on this. Javier Rodriguez. What is going on with all the Dick Tracy looking villains lately? I mean, just a garbage look. Silver Surfer and Doctor Strange are the only real defenders on here. None of these other guys are. And I don't care about any of these other people. They're going to kill Stephen Strange here soon anyway, so that Captain Marvel can become Doctor Strange. But the art is just this weird pop art, abstract nonsense with this weird... He looks like a baby with one of those marker-drawn mustaches on. So if you want to read a book about a giant toddler with a magic marker mustache, this may be the book for you. Ugh, garbage. This cover actually doesn't look too bad. This looks like a heavy metal cover. See, that's actually a cool looking cover, but the interior art is fucking garbage, so no thanks. So I'm skipping Defenders, which is sad. Defenders used to be a solid book of second stringers. Fantastic Four life story, that's similar to the Spider-Man life story, where they take the original date of like 1961 when the team first issue appeared, and they're going as if they were formed then all the way through now, and their deaths, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm sure it's fine, but I'm not buying it. I might get the trade. Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon, after the stunt they pulled at the end of that, no. And fuck you, Larry Hama, for selling out to that crap. Marvel, August 1961. This is an omnibus with a bunch of different books. You've got Journey into Mystery, 73 and 74. Kathy, number 13. Life with Millie, 13. Patsy Walker, 97. Amazing Adventures, 6. Fantastic Four, issue 1. Kid Colt, Outlaw, 101. Linda Carter, Student Nurse, number 2. Millie the Model, 105. And there are no girls in comics before. Strange Tales, number 90. Tales of Suspense, 23. Tales to Astonish, 25. Gunsmoke Western, 67. Love Romances, 96. Teenage Romance, 84. Amazing Adult Fantasy, 7. Patsy and Hetty, 79. And Rawhide Kid, 25. So everything that came out in August of 1961. And as you can tell, their lineup has changed significantly over the decades. I don't think that's worth $150, but if you've never read any of the romance stuff, it might be worth a flip through. But I would definitely not pay $150 for that. Marvel Voices Pride second printing. The comic shop that I primarily go to still has a whole bunch of first prints in their bargain bin for $1. And I bought one a while back just because I thought, well, for $1, I'll review that. And I regret that decision. It was not good. Hey, Mike Savage. Hey, Camel. How you guys doing? So yeah, that was a hot mess, and it was just lazy pandering, as you'd expect. And $10 was a ridiculous price for the first print, so don't bother picking that garbage up. It's just a bunch of little anthology stories that go nowhere and mean nothing. And they're just like, I'm gay, and that's really the whole crux of the book. It's really shitty pandering. Miles Morales Spider-Man, he can go fuck himself. I'm not supporting that trash. Runaways 38, it's a shit book. Boring, not getting it. Spider-Man Spider Shadow, I will get this. The first 4 issues were solid, which I think I have to release the reviews for 3 and 4 yet. There will be reviews up later tonight, one for the patrons and one for the regular channel. So I'll keep a lookout for that. I should have those up about an hour after I'm done here. I'm going to try and get them done between this end of this and when Monkey of the Morning starts. So be aware of that. Star Wars Dr. Aphra trade. I don't give a crap about that book. High Republic sucks. It's just more Mary Sue crap. And we got an article on Star Wars High Republic coming up here, which I think I have in this lineup. No, it'll be on Friday. X Factor by Peter David Omnibus, $100. That was a pretty good run, but it had a lot of weird stuff in it. There were some weird stories. So we got X Factor 55 and 70 through 92, Annual 7 and 8, Incredible Hulk 390 through 392, and material from X Factor Annual number 5 and 6, and New Mutants Annual 6. So this team had Havoc, Polaris, Quicksilver, Multiple Man, Wolfsbane, and Strong Guy. It was a pretty decent run, what I read of it. I didn't read all of that, but I remember thinking like Strong Guy was an annoying character. He's a stupid name. So it's worth it if you like the Peter David stuff from that time when he was really good. And he was doing Incredible Hulk around that time. And I remember reading like 1 or 2 story arcs from that. It was pretty solid. X-Force, garbage, not buying villain books. X-Men by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 3, definitely not buying that. X-Men Legends number 6, I am going to buy this. There's 3 different covers. One is an homage to the old toys. You got Havoc on this cover and Wolfsbane on this one. This is the regular cover, I believe. It doesn't say when it takes place, but it's during Peter David's original X Factor run. So I will buy this one because I've been enjoying this book. It's a lot like old style X-Men. So for Marvel, I'm really just getting Spider-Man Spider Shadow number 5, which is the final issue, and X-Men Legends number 6. This series I'll probably buy in trade paperback eventually, but I'm going to definitely pick it up to review it. Hey, Frosted, how you doing, man? There's Kyler. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Hey, Spud Gun. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Always glad to get people to come in and drop a like. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. You know, you guys all know the drill. Dynamite. Lots of Betty Page and the Curse of the Banshee. Issue 3. Maybe I'll grab it out of a bargain bin someday, but not picking it up new. Death-Defying Daredevil, Our Home. God, that was such a shit storyline. So boring, and it was about this weird cast of characters in this, like, should have been a group home that they all lived in. It was like almost like a youth hostel for transients, and he ends up getting beat up because he goes down like a bitch right out of the gate, and they nurse him back to health, and they all have quirky personalities because it's written by Gail Simone. Elvira, Shape of Elvira. I don't remember reading this, but some of the Elvira stuff's been pretty fun. Kiss, Phantom Obsession. I'm not going to pick this one up. I just don't care. It's got Jim Lee cover on this one, and there's some other people I don't care about, including a photo cover. But I don't think it has anything to do with the Phantom of the Park. So, which is really disappointing because I own that on VHS. And, oh, man, glorious cheese. So I'm going to skip that one. Red Sonja, Black, White, and Red. No, not that interested. It wasn't particularly interesting. Kind of boring attempt at cashing in on the black and white craze. Sacred 6, or number 11, don't care. Vampire versus Purgatory CCG cover, $90 if you want to waste some money. So, nothing from Dynamite. Boom Studios, Eve, number 405. I don't care about that book. It's crap. Firefly Unification War, trade paperback. If you're a Firefly fan, I guess. Mamo, don't care. Mighty Morphin, I will pick that up. It's issue 10. It's got 3 different covers. I'll just get the regular cover because I don't care. Trade paperback for volume 2 there. I think this has, 5 issues in it? 6 issues? 5 through 8. So it's 4 issues. It's a little pricey. WWE, New Day, Power of Positivity. I don't care about wrestling comics. So I'm going to get Mighty Morphin, and that's it. On to the comics and graphic novels. We've got Adventures of Bailey's School Kids. Don't care. The art's shit. Akashic Records of Bastard Magical Instructor. That's a catchy title. But it's manga, so I'm going to skip that. Amelia, Broadway graphic novel. Castaway Commander. Don't care. Archie Jumbo Comics. Again, it's Archie. It's pretty stock standard stuff. So if you like Archie, you'll like it. If you like the newer Archie stuff, you're probably not going to like it. It's old school Archie. Essentia number 7, I don't care. Battle Cats Volume 3, I never read it. It didn't look very interesting, what I saw of it, so I'm going to skip that. Big Apple, don't care. The cover's boring. Black Cotton, don't care. That looked dumb. Blacksmith, I get it, Blacksmith. What's this about? See, you wouldn't know this was a werewolf crime story if I wasn't hovering on this, because it looks like 2 lesbian chicks about to make out, and she's got the side of her head saved. So she's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man with her Portland hero haircut. So we could just skip that one based on the cover. Blood, Skulls, and Chrome number 2. I will pick that up. Second Sight Publishing is proving to be a pretty interesting company. And I've got the first issue of this, but I haven't read it yet. But I'm willing to give it a second issue, sight unseen, just because I've liked what I have read from them so far. Lady Freedom was good, and so was Chess and Blowtorch. So the art's not the greatest, but it's functional. So I'm willing to give that one a chance. Boarding School, Juliet, that sounds like porn. Book of Lysixia, I'm not going to get that because I missed issues 1 and 2, and I don't know anything about it. It didn't look like something for me, but it's by Second Sight, so it's probably okay. Bug Club, that looks stupid. Bunny Mask, number 3. I haven't read issue 2 yet. I've got it sitting here. I'm going to read that tonight. But the first issue was surprisingly interesting. But if issue 2 isn't very compelling, I'm just going to skip it because it is $5. By the Horns, don't care. Call of the Night sounds like porn. Looks like porn. Even if it's manga porn, it still looks like porn. Campisi, I don't know what it is, and I don't care. The cover looks boring. Cheer Up, obviously, Love and Pom-Poms would say that it's probably not an espionage thriller, so I'm going to skip that one. Yeah, the Blacksmith one did look a little homosexual-oriented. Comic or porno. Yeah, I don't know if I'd even win that random these days. Chronicles of Aristocrat Reborn in Another World. I'm going to skip that because it's manga, but I don't know. Cinnamon looks dumb. It might be good. Behemoth is kind of a mixed bag. Cinnamon is just your perfectly ordinary average house cat, at least until we get a glimpse of the world through her eyes. Countertops become skyscrapers, cat toys become biker gangs, and perilous robots rampage on the daily. I believe that's called Don Quixote. So I think I'm going to probably skip that one, although the premise isn't totally alien. Clans of Bellari, no, I'm going to skip that. Complete the quest, the Poisonous Library. That's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, I think. Count Draco, Knuckle Duster. That's at least a catchy title. It's a Black Caravan imprint, so they're trying to sell you a trade paperback. I'm sure. So, yeah, I'm going to skip that one. Days of Love at Seagull Villa. That definitely sounds like porn. It's like some Red Shoe Diary shit there. Dead Legends 2 Premiere Edition. The Premiere Edition, no, I'm good, thanks. Death Plays a Mean Harmonica. That art looks like crap. Dynamic Forces, I'm never buying their crap. Screw off. Did you hear what Eddie Gein Ed Gein is a serial killer, inspiration for Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He used to wear his victims' faces around while he was on the farm, and when they asked him why he didn't do that more often, he said, well, I had work to do. Can't do that all the time. Gin Hunter, I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. Black Box is kind of a mixed bag for me, but generally they're okay. Donuts Under Crescent Moon, don't care. Looks like a relationship book. Failure Frame, catchy title. Manga, I'm going to skip it. Farewell, whatever, I don't care. If I can't pronounce it, I'm probably not buying it. Fortnite versus Minecraft. Keenspot would really do better to stop doing these parodies as much and start doing more stuff like Ninjas versus Robots. Or Ninjas and Robots. That's a great book. This stuff's all very ham-fisted and cash grab. It doesn't seem to sell very well, so whatever. Fight Girls. No, I'm good. It's Artists, Writers, and Artists. Just pick up the trade for half price. Fear in the Tramp. It sounded like it might be a fun story when I read up on it. It's got Charlie Chaplin, but I'm going to skip it because I don't care enough. Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Edition, hardcover, volume 14. I don't like the art. The cover actually looks even worse than what you'd expect normally. Hey, Lester, how you doing, man? So I'm going to skip that. Plus anime, or manga, rather. Glass Syndrome. That sounds like gay romance. Hello, Neighbor. Raven Brooks Disaster. I'm good. That looks like a weird... What kind of weirdo shit is this? There's a guy driving. There's like 2 kids out here. Is he going to either run them over or pick them up? Which is worse? Hershey disease. That's when you eat too much chocolate and you get the trots. I'm pretty sure. High Score Girl. That definitely sounds like porn. She's going for the highest body count. How heavy are dumbbells you lift? Well, it looks like porn from the cover, but it's probably not. I belong to baddest girl at school. That's a relationship book, I'm sure. I got caught up in a hero summons. That sounds like you're late for court. I survived attacks of 9/11. No, I remember that too well. I don't really want to relive that in comic form with shit art. I'd invaded Broken. Is that some sort of Brokeback Mountain shit? No, I'm good. Joanna and the Impossible Monster. Impossible's not a word. Oni Press. Nope. Jungle Fantasy Fauna. No, that is porn. Junkie Cable number 3. Nope, don't care. Knights of the Dinner Table. If you're a gamer, you'll probably like that, but it's $7. Bundle of Trouble. These used to be funny, but I haven't gamed in a long time. They're funny if you're a gamer, but they've gone way too long. I mean, 285 issues is a bit much. Comey Can't Communicate. I'm sure it's fine if you're into manga, but it sounds like Helen Keller porn. Laurel and Hardy Meet the Three Stooges. 9.8 CGC. $125. You could get that book out of the dollar box and read it. It's a fun book, but it's not a $125 book. American Mythology, though, I do like them as a company, so if you want to support them that way, go for it. Lily Van Helsing graphic novel. I don't care. It looks dumb. Love of Kill graphic novel. That better be about assassins. MADK graphic novel. I don't know what's going on there. The cover's kind of cool, though. Magical Angel, Creamy Mamie, and Spoiled Princess. That sounds like hot scissor in action for 144 pages. So yeah, I'd probably get that if it's sexy time anime. I'm sure it's fine, but I have the internet, so I don't need print porn. Making Friends, Third Time's Charm. No, that looks stupid. It's a book about making friends, volume 3, because you didn't learn in volumes 1 and 2. Midnight Western Theater. Don't care. Mint Chocolate graphic novel. That sounds like some porn. Why do all these sound like porn? Never. That's heavy metal. I'm going to skip it because they're dicks to their fans. OG and the Cockroaches Kickstarter limited cover, $25. Well, if it's the Kickstarter limited edition cover, why is it being solicited here? I was never a fan of the cartoon anyway. Orcs in Space Volume 3. I don't care. Persona 5. I think that's a video game, so it's probably fine. The video game properties seem to do okay when they're mangas. Pokemon Adventures Black and White graphic novel, Volume 4. I'm sure it's fine. Sword and Shield Collector's Edition. They're all Pokemon. They're probably fine. Radiant graphic novel, Volume 14. I think that's a fighting one. It's probably fine. Rainbow Bridge Aftershock graphic novel. I'm not interested. Reprise of the Spear Hero. He's gonna spear chicks. It's probably okay. Resilient. This is about a chick that goes over to Cambodia to help take out landmines, and she ends up in an explosion and has to learn to deal with that. They do a lot of stuff with disabled people in Absolute, and I'm going to check this out to see if it's any good, because some of their books are really underrated. So I'll check that out. I like checking out small publishers, and if it's good, encouraging people to pick them up, obviously. So I'll check that out. Oh, thank you, Jim Beam. Sorry about the delay in checking that. How are you this evening, Jack? I'm okay. Running a little behind on everything I'm doing like usual. But thank you so much for the donation, man. I appreciate that. It's really cool. Hey, Gorak. Yo, Jack, awesome. How's it going? Just warning to other people to check on your subscribe channels. I unsub from 5 people. I watch on the regular. Yeah, I lost like 6 subscribers on Bad Comic Reviews the other day, and I have no idea why. So I don't know if I did something or if people got unsubbed, but yeah, make sure you check your subscription if you haven't already, because you have a perverted mind, so everything sounds like porn. It's not my fault everything sounds like porn. Everybody else is the pervert for naming it to sound like porn. Seems like a minor problem. Yeah, those minors, man, they got lots of problems. Spear Hero's very hateable character. Oh, okay. Yeah, I really do need to try and get into manga a little more. Radiant is good. It's fun. It can be enjoyed by preteens to adults. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll check out Resilient Run, graphic novel, book 1. What's this about? The title is boring, and this guy's not really running. He's sort of chubby, so he's just kind of fast walking. Civil rights movement, no thanks. Lost me at civil rights movement. It lost me in the first sentence. Sasuke and Miyano, that sounds like gay porn. Savage Circus, no, pass thanks. Heavy metal, your dicks to your fans. Like I said before, I'm only going to review the heavy metal stuff I've already paid for or pre-ordered, not pre-ordering anything else. So the stuff I've already got here will get reviewed, and that'll be the end of that. Skippin' Loafer graphic novel. Is he light in the loafers? That used to be a euphemism for the gays. But she's skipping. I'm assuming that's a chick. Leaving her small town precision, making positive changes in the world. I don't care. That's boring already. Sleepy Princess and Demon Castle. All right, that's a catchy title. So that sounds cool. But Volume 15, how do you care? Premise drags on. Volume 15? Jeez, guys. Space Pirate, Captain Harlock. If you're really into manga stuff, check that out. Beyond that, not for me. Sun Dome Milky Way. I see some boobies, so sexy and out of this world alien comedy. All right, that sounds cool. Tamamo Chan's Fox. Okay. Tarot Witch of the Black Rose. That's pretty standard softcore stuff. The Rise, issue 2. This is a prequel to Night of the Living Dead, written by George Romero's kid. That might be better in trade paperback. It's very serialized and very, very short issues. That's why they're so cheap. Spending $200 at Barnes & Noble last weekend. Wow. Oh, nice. Wheel Time. I liked the first couple of books. After that, I lost interest in it. Premise running thin. Yep. South Park reference. Sleeping Princess is supposed to be fun. It's got a catchy title, so. Yeah, I think Harlock came out in the 70s. They didn't do a real good job introducing him in issue 1. It was very, very glossed over, but it was in color, so. Thomas Heller, Detective. I would rather that was Helen Keller, Detective, but then I would buy it. Otherwise, no. Three Stooges, Shemptastic set with promo card. The Three Stooges stuff from American mythology is surprisingly fun. So I'd recommend that. I'm not going to get it because I probably already have most of these. Wendy, the art looks like that Noodle People stuff, Steven Universe style art. No thanks. It's lazy looking. White, definitely not buying that. White Ash magazine, no thank you. Wild Wild Wildlife, that better be about people getting eaten by cobras and stuff like that. Zozo Zombie, the art looks like shit. Zombie Tramp, not for me. So I'm getting Blood Skulls and Chrome, maybe Bunny Mask and Resilient. That's really all I see on here. It's going to be a light week for comics. Problem if I buy digital media, I could spend less, but I like having the physical copy. It's worth the extra to me. Never thought the Three Stooges were funny. Heresy. All right, let me shift some tabs over to my second screen here, and we will do some news. How's everybody in chat doing? Saw some latecomers. I like the Stooges. They're kind of fun occasionally thing. Not something I could watch all the time, but good kind of distraction stuff. The movie they did where Will Sasso played Curly was surprisingly fun. Will Sasso was great as Curly. He was perfect casting. Kind of wish they had done a sequel that was slightly better. Marx Brothers Brother 3 Stooges. You're biased. That's biased talking. All right, give me 1 second here to fix this up. Rolling along, Jack. Happy that I ain't dead. Yeah, I'm glad you're happy you're not dead too. Hey, Ori. I'm doing okay. Yeah, they're definitely not for everyone. It's a vaudeville type routine. That's just not going to be for everybody. All right, let's talk about Cobra Kai first. Yeah, my throat's dry already. All right. So here we've got Cobra Kai star Zolo Marudina, I don't know, to portray DC's Blue Beetle. Not Ted Kord. I will not search my feelings. I suppress those. Thank you very much. Cobra Kai breakout Zolo, something I can't pronounce, is in talks to star in the lead role of Jamie Reyes in Blue Beetle for HBO Max, Warner Brothers, and DC Films' first superhero movie starring a Latino character, the Wrap reports. As usual, this is coming from Bleeding Fool. Charm City Kings director Angel Manuel Soto is set to direct. The screenplay is from Mexican-born Gareth Dunnett Alocar, who wrote Universal's Scarface remake. They did a remake of that. And Sony's Miss Bala. Never heard of that. This costume is not his costume. He has this magic scarab that gives him powers that are somehow tech-based. And they made him into Latino Iron Man. And it's not a very good character. It's very disappointing. In DC Comics, Blue Beetle is a superhero alter ego used by 3 different heroes, but the film will focus on Mexican-American teenager Jamie Reyes, the third character to assume the Blue Beetle mantle. While DC has had Latino characters in its movie universe, Jay Hernandez is El Diablo in Suicide Squad, good actor put in a very shit role. If the script had been better, he could have been really, really cool, because he's a decent actor. And Rosie Perez is Renee Montoya in Birds of Prey. And cast Latina Sasha Cali to play Supergirl in The Flash. Why there's a Latina girl playing a alien from Krypton who is very clearly white and blonde is a mystery to all of us. This will be the first standalone title to feature a Latino lead. Also of note, In the Heights breakout star Leslie Grace, who is Dominican American, has won the role of Batgirl and will star as crime fighter Barbara Gordon. We went over that a few weeks ago. She's pretty, but man, terrible casting. That's not Batgirl. This film is starting production early next year with John Rickard producing for HBO Max. Zev Foreman is executive producing. I've never heard of Zev Foreman or John Rickard. But Jamie Reyes is a weak character. He's a cheap knockoff that was put in a while back as an early diversity hire. And this guy looks, well, Jamie Reyes is supposed to be a high school student. And this guy just looks like he's about to go clubbing at one of those bathhouse type places. They lose the earring too, dude. It's not working for you. Look, I don't care about this guy. I don't know who he is. I'm a couple seasons behind on Cobra Kai. It's a good show. I'm sure he's a decent actor. But I don't know how I feel about this. Jamie Reyes is a weak character. Maybe this guy could save it, though. If he's a decent enough actor, maybe he could turn the movie into something interesting. But this just seems like more shameless propaganda to me. Hey, Merle, how you doing? Yeah, it's another lazy first. So it just looks like shameless pandering. But it could be good. I don't know. I'll give it a chance, but I don't have high hopes because anytime they have to stress the first instead of telling you the story, like, oh, it's this breakout, awesome character. He's got tech and he could do all this cool stuff. They're not highlighting any of that. So until we know more about the script, I don't have a lot of faith this is going to be very good. I'm sure this guy's a fine actor, although lose the necklace too, dude. That's not helping your cause. I just don't have that much interest in it because the character's shit. Like I said, if the story's good, fine. I'd rather they did an Aztec movie. That character was way cooler. If you want to do a Latino character, do Aztec. He was way cooler, and you could do a lot more with him. Blue Beetle, everybody's going to think it's Ted Kord, or they're going to be mad that Ted Kord's not in it. Because I guarantee you, Ted Kord's not going to make a single appearance other than being an incompetent boob. Because he's just a dumb white guy. And that'll be the entire presence if he's even in it. So yeah, I don't have a lot of faith this will be very good, but we have to hope that it will be. Batgirl will be crippled after being shot by ice. That one surprised me. What they'll do a supervillain called Ice, and he'll be against illegal immigration or some nonsense. There's some generic white supremacist who's against immigration in general. I could see them doing that because they're stupid and lazy. Walt Disney Company institutes mandatory vaccination requirement for all salaried and non-union U.S. employees. That's interesting. What, the union didn't want to play along? Is that what the case is here? I wonder. Walt Disney Company has announced they will now require all their salaried and non-union U.S. employees to be vaccinated against COVID-19 before they can return to their jobs. What the hell is this? What is that? Is that a leg? Dude, get that looked at. Wow. Amber Lynn wants her legs back. Jeez. And the little noodle arms. Ugh. What's with the little Burger King crown? Are you a king? What the is that the dipshit from Kingdom Hearts? Is that what that is? Ugh. There you push to get people to join the unions. That's possible too. Quit on the spot. I won't blame you. Especially because the rest of Florida's not, but I guess they're going to do this at both parks. In a statement provided by the entertainment conglomerate to various entertainment trade outlets, Disney said in their latest virtue signal that this new requirement was being implemented because at the Walt Disney Company, the safety and well-being of our employees during the pandemic has been and continues to be a top priority. Now, I haven't read the rest of this article. I read this and I was already pissed off. But that is not Sora. Kingdom Hearts jerk. What I'm wondering is if you're in costume as like Mickey or Goofy, do you still have to wear a mask underneath that mask? Because do people use those costumes, or is it all one person using that costume? So are you in a 100-degree costume and wearing a mask on top of that? You're going to have a lot of cast members passing out. Zora from Kingdom Hearts, that was an awesome story. I never played that game. I had zero interest. And I thought that was a girl for the longest time. Unless it is a girl, then, because that would explain a lot. Toward that end, and based on the latest recommendations of scientists, the statement continued, health officials and our own medical professionals that the COVID-19 vaccine provides the best protection against severe infection. We are requiring that all salaried and non-union hourly employees in the U.S. working at any of our sites be fully vaccinated. Stop humping the ground, Mickey. You don't own all of it. This is mine. I humped it. I'm Mickey Mouse. Detailing the logistics of their new requirement, Disney explained employees who aren't already vaccinated and are working on site will have 60 days from today to complete their protocols, and any employees still working from home will need to provide verification of vaccination prior to their return, with certain limited exceptions. I guess if you make enough money, you're immune. Third, not first. Oh, okay. Androgynous anime characters? No. I know, I'm shocked too. I'd hope it was only one person per costume. I would too, because it's gross. What if the dude before you just farts all the time in it? I don't want to climb into someone else's ball soup in the suite, right? Lawsuit incoming? Probably. I don't know how successful it would be because they've already said you can do this. But it won't surprise me if some people get fired for it. Why does this mask story have a bunch of Kingdom Hearts screenshots? I think that's all they could come up with. And the costume has to wear another mask, and then you have wear a helmet. Yeah, you gotta be safe from everything. Nobody can die. We've also begun conversations around this topic with the unions representing our employees under collective bargaining agreements. Well, see, it's pointless if you don't have the union people on board. Because what's the difference if the non-union people, they'll just fire you if you don't get it. But if the union employees aren't vaxxed, then this is pointless. In addition, all new hires will be required to be fully vaccinated before beginning employment. Vaccines are the best tool we all have to help control the global pandemic and protect our employees. With the 98% survival rate. With this announcement, Disney has become the second major Hollywood studio to implement mandatory COVID vaccination. Earlier this week, Netflix issued new guidelines requiring all Zone A employees to receive a vaccination before returning to work. Now, I'm glad Bounding into Comics put this up, but I think this is a bold move. Disney is already low on staff, and they fired a bunch of people at the beginning of this. And with the mask mandate coming back in California, they're going to have a tough time getting people to fill this position, I think. But a lot of people will do it just to go back to work. I don't know. With the extra free money ending, they'll probably have a lot of people take this and just get the shot. A lot of people just can't push back anymore for financial reasons, if nothing else. Oh, thank you, Evolved Potato, for the donation. The Latino Blue Beetle was in Young Justice show, so a lot of people will know him from that. And in the show, at least, he was a good character. But with Hollywood, I doubt it will be. That's my concern. Like I said, the actor's probably fine. But there's so much pandering in Hollywood that they're just going to play up the fact that he's Latino constantly. And I would bet there's going to be some kind of social justice messaging about the evils of deportation, because they can't resist. It's always got to be dialed up to 11. Frosted, that would not surprise me in the slightest. But the safety issue, then union buy-ins shouldn't matter. You'd be surprised, Costin. It's pretty amazing how much the unions have power. So they might not want to go along, but they'll probably just get some conciliatory thing like, we'll put a TV in the break room or some bullshit like that, and they'll be like, all right, we'll make everyone do it. Yeah, I saw that, Uncle Ira. I didn't want to cover that because it's one of those hot button topics that would get me in trouble. I survived the coup phenomenon, obese, diabetic, and immune compromised. I got sick, but it wasn't the sickest I've ever been. Oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad you're okay now. Hope you're okay anyway. He'll be a dreamer. That's what I'm afraid of, El Wolf. It would not surprise me in the slightest if he was a dreamer. Kingdom Hearts was a good story, poorly executed and explained in the games. Big drop for me was Seraphoth and the Cloud. Cloud was in Final Fantasy VII? It's a Final Fantasy character, isn't it? Hey, Teenage Moon Knight Productions. James Gunn's Suicide Squad is garbage. That's sad. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but it looked like it might be at least some decent cheese. I'm not going to see it, though. Probably threaten a walkout. That's a possibility, and if they did, I'd laugh. Young Justice Blue Beetle was good, and really, I never knew he was really Ted Kord. Yeah, I like the Ted Kord Blue Beetle a lot better, but I grew up in the 80s, so that was the Blue Beetle I knew. Both of them was. Oh, okay. I haven't played that game since it first came out, and I wasn't a fan. I'm in good health for a fat man. Even going to the gym and losing weight. I've been trying to. Watching all those Sinatra Says live streams with Amberlynn Reed, it's just inspiring me to take better care of myself. Final Fantasy VII, okay, yeah. Which makes the phrase "get out of my head, get your head out of the clouds" means something completely different. Yeah, that definitely does. Well, I'll hold out a little hope that Blue Beetle will be okay, but we'll see. It probably won't. It'll be more woke trash from Hollywood. All right, over at Comic Book Resources, Jim Lee says Warner Media Discovery merger won't impact DC. Now, I vaguely remember them saying that they were fine the last time they were acquired, so we'll see. DC CCO Jim Lee said the merger of Warner Media and Discovery Inc. hasn't affected the comics. Lee, who is also the publisher of DC, yeah, he's a figurehead, told the Hollywood Reporter, "For some of us, we're used to working in that kind of environment. The bottom line is it's business as usual. Past the initial surprise of the announcement, at the end of the day, we're still moving forward, trying to reach the goals and objectives we have for ourselves. The impending merger, in my opinion, does not materially change anything." With a laugh, Lee added, "We're having fun brainstorming King Shark Week and what we can do, though." Ha 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 ha. AT&T acquired Time Warner Inc. in June 2018 and later renamed it Warner Media. Announced in May it would spin off as the subsidiary. So, okay, you know what I mean. And merge it with Discovery in a $43 billion deal. Basically, they sold it for a stake in the new company because AT&T discovered they suck at doing movies and TV. So they're wheeling it off to somebody else. Pending regulatory and shareholder approval, I don't think that'll be a problem. The merger should complete in 2022 with Discovery Chief Executive Officer David Zaslav as head of the combined entity. The merger puts streaming services HBO Max and Discovery Plus into one corporate home, as well as Warner's array of TV channels, which includes CNN, HBO, Cartoon Network, TNT, TBS, TCM, and 50% of the CW. And Discovery's cable TV lineup, which includes TLC, OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network, and the Food Network. I think they also own All Black, which is a new subscriber-based like BET type channel, which has a lot of really weird shows on it. So, yeah, I don't know how well this is going to do, but it's actually got a lot of good stuff on here as far as cable channels. And if they put all that together, they could probably turn HBO Max into a real contender for the streaming wars. Probably crush Disney with it too, because they have a lot more to work with, especially with Turner Classic Movies. There's a lot of old movies they'd have access to. TLC, you'd got My 600-Pound Life. OWN, I think Investigation Discovery falls under the Discovery bracket as well, still, because it is a Discovery Channel. So all the murder shows would be on there too. How much worse can the DCEU get? Oh, don't dare them. They will really drop the bottom out. Thinking I might have some spicy grilled black beans, corn, and steak over a bed of cauliflower rice. That sounds good. Hey, Trucker. How you doing, man? You don't really have to be a comic fan to like some of the shows. So, yeah, I think this might be a little bit of Jim Lee padding things to say they won't impact DC, but that really comes down to sales. And their sales have been dropping because they've been raising the price on stuff, and the quality has gone downhill. And the comic shop retailers I talk to all say they're ordering less DC stuff lately. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think Jim Lee is really puffing a little bit here, like a used car salesman, trying to get you to keep buying their mediocre books. And the fact they're going so woke lately, the new head guy that's the creative director, because even though Jim Lee says creative officer, he's not actually in charge. There's a guy that's from somewhere else, I forget where, but he's definitely a social justice warrior, and he's fully admitted that. And if I remember the article correctly, and he's definitely steering the ship in a much more Marvel 2015 direction where he wants to replace everybody with more minority characters. Oh, glad to hear it. I mean to explain that why I never knew Ted. Oh yeah, that's fair. They need to let him get back to drawing. Yeah, he's a much better artist than he is executive. He got his job because of the Wildstorm merger, and he's just sort of floated around ever since. I don't think they know what to do with him, and I don't think he cares. He's making a pretty fat paycheck and residuals off his characters. So yeah, they're just kind of propping him up to go talk to the normies. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about the direction DC's taking. Not just the social justice stuff that annoys me to no end, but they have done some good stuff. Some of the Black Label stuff is really impressively good, but their price point is just way too high at $5 and $6 for a single issue. When the Black Label bigger books, which are more magazine size, are $7. Why wouldn't you just get that? It's way more pages and way more story, and it's a bigger format. So I don't know what they're thinking. Just go to prestige format. It's way better. All comic shop, geek shops, my town, die problem, living in a town on the Blue Belt where 72% population is 60 and older. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, that's a growing problem. And they're not bringing in younger audiences like they need to be. I did see a kid at the comic shop the other day when I was in there, and that surprised me. Like, we were all weirded out. Like, because most people I see in there are over 35. And I would venture to guess the majority of the comic customer base is now in their 40s. And they're aging out very quickly because they've got kids of their own and stuff like that. And there's not that many books for kids. You've got some stuff for real little preschool kids. But other than like the occasional Batman Scooby-Doo crossover kind of thing, there's almost nothing for kids to read. There's nothing targeting that age demographic, really. So they're just hurting themselves by not trying to bring in younger audiences. And they're aiming toward a specific set. Hey, TOS, how you doing, man? Jack, did you get my Streamlabs donation? Yes, I did. Thank you very much. I'm doing pretty well. How are you? I'm a retirement tourist town. Yeah, it's so sad because there's a lot of potential in comics. There's still a hunger for that. That's why the Indiegogo and the mangas still sell really well. But people just don't think of how to market it. If you really wanted to have a comic shop in a resort town or a tourist trap, if you have a big enough tourist destination, you should sell stuff that would target them. And I would even go so far as to say somebody should create a superhero that is in a generic city and then just regionalize that. So let's say you live in Branson, Missouri, and I have generic hero Bob, and I write a story about it, and it's drawn and everything, and all we have to do is substitute the name of the city he's in for whatever city, like Branson. He's now in Branson. Oh, it's St. Louis. Okay, that hometown is now St. Louis, and just tailor it to fit. Just have a generic superhero story, but it's regionally locked. I think that would actually work as like a good selling point for kids. Give the kids something to do, shut them up for a little while, and you'd have this weird collectible. They do that a lot in Japan with their weird collectible stuff. And I always thought that would be a really interesting way to do it with the comics, with the print on demand. You could print up a couple hundred of them, send them out to a comic shop like that, and sell them as promo things for tourists. My niece likes manga, but I'm having to screen a lot of it before. Yeah, there's a lot of boobies in the mangas. Wacky book aimed at kids. Yeah, they used to have a lot of kids books, but I guess kids aren't into it because nobody wants their kids to read. Kids are midgets. It's probably midgets. Oh, cool. I've never been to Branson. I drove by it once, but that was a long, long time ago. The hometowner. Yeah. Give him a generic sounding superhero name. But you could do that for like 5 cities, try it out, and see how it works. I thought it was an interesting idea, but nobody listens to me. So moving along, let's talk some Star Trek if my internet decides to work. Alex Kurtzman signs new deal with Paramount. This was a rumor the other day, and apparently it's true. This is from Cosmic Book News. Ugh. Look at that smug, smarmy look. Guy just looks like a dirty hobo. Fans aren't too happy with this announcement, but Paramount has announced Alex Kurtzman has signed a new overall deal that includes Star Trek and extends his contract through 2026. I have decided the fans on this one is Alex Kurtzman is behind Star Trek Discovery. Season 3 was awful. I didn't watch it. And Star Trek Picard, I couldn't get past episode 1. Oh, Star Trek Picard was dog shit. Wow, it was bad. The goofy Star Trek Lower Decks, that was dog shit too. And whatever else they have planned on Paramount Plus. It could be the case similar to Disney Star Wars in that it's so bad no one wants to take the franchise over. I doubt that. So maybe Paramount's stuck with Kurtzman, similar to how Disney has been stuck with Kathleen Kennedy on Star Wars. I think Kathleen Kennedy just had too much power. Hopefully Paramount execs chime in and attempt to right things, which everything that's wrong with Star Trek. Check out the official announcement below. All right, CBS Studios announced today a new overall development and production deal with prolific writer, producer, and director Alex Kurtzman and his production banner Secret Hideout through 2026. Heather Kadin will continue to lead the Secret Hideout content team along with Senior Vice President Aaron Bayers and Director of Development Robin Johnson. Under this new deal, Secret Hideout will expand to include new executives for the growing slate of shows in development. In the agreement, CBS will have exclusive rights to develop and produce Secret Hideout content on all platforms. Kurtzman, one of the leading creative voices in the entertainment industry, that's a stretch, is known for his ability to bring complex source material, recognizable IP, and original stories to screen with relatable, character-driven narratives that reach broad global audiences and receive critical acclaim. That's a lot of lies in one sentence. More like take recognizable IPs and turn them into dog shit, so that everybody hates them and never buys their stuff again. That's a lot more accurate. Since aligning with the studio in 2016, Kurtzman and Secret Hideout have produced a wide range of sophisticated, compelling... Oh, this is just full lies. So it sounds... I read this earlier, and it sounds a lot like Kurtzman is just overseeing things. He's kind of behind the scenes now. He's not up front, and this Hayden woman is going to be more the hands-on face of Star Trek. But I think we can look forward to some more Mary Sue, Mikey Spocks, and others in the Star Trek universe just becoming more and more crap. Kurtzman is not very good at this, and he doesn't seem to really understand Star Trek at all. It's a very cynical, boring program under him. And it does appear, according to what Doomcock's rumors were, take that for whatever it's worth, there is apparently Playmates funding another Star Trek movie, which kind of forced them into this because Les Moonves, if the rumors to be believed, kind of set them up with a shit contract before he left Viacom CBS. So they're stuck with this clown for a couple more years. Maybe they could get somebody better to run Star Trek on a day-to-day basis, but nobody seems to want to do it. Or they're just unwilling to hand it over to actual fans. If they were smart, they'd cut a deal with Vic Mignogna and let him run Star Trek for a while. And just let him do whatever he wants. He could bring it in under budget, tone down all the goofy sets, and make it look more like original Trek. Because this stuff is so cynical and boring and filled with Mary Sue, what's-her-face, Michael Burnham, or Mikey Spock. This guy's a talentless hack, and they should really get somebody in that likes the content and actually understands it. Yeah, there's good fan fiction out there. They could adapt some of the novelizations, too. Like, just recast the original Star Trek. Let Vic Mignogna take it over as showrunner. He'd probably work a lot cheaper. Shit, let him play Kirk. I don't fucking care. He couldn't do any worse than this ass clown's doing. And Star Trek's been garbage, and the fact they signed this deal for another 4 years tells me they don't care, or they're in some sort of weird trap where they can't get rid of him. But he's been doing nothing but destroying the franchise for years now, and they're dumb enough to give him another deal. So I think this is a big mistake, and they're just going to lose more money. And if you lose enough money, at some point you've destroyed your franchise. Fans are walking away in force. Let me grab another drink here. Delicious chilled water. Flavorful. One of the girls at work today, in fact, told me how Discovery wasn't bad. Had to reevaluate my estimation of her. Yeah, she probably lets you touch her butthole. And she obviously has poor taste or is really dumb. So, yeah, I would think less of her as a person. Yeah, I like the old original series books. They could probably adapt some of those for the screen. I don't know why that hasn't been done. Just pick one book and make it a 4-episode arc. I don't understand what they're doing with this stuff. Have you seen Vic's Star Trek Continues? Yeah, that's why I said let him do it. He did that on a shoestring budget, and it was definitely more like old Star Trek, where it was hopeful, the acting was good. Water isn't good, those are lies. Yeah, well, I kind of need it. It doesn't have the electrolytes that plants crave, but I do enjoy some water. But fish do nasty things and poop in it. Well, I'm not drinking river water. Hear me out if they do Star Trek Gorn hegemony. I wouldn't mind a Gorn show if it was interesting. But the way the Klingons look in this Discovery crap fest, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. They look like piranha people. Why didn't they just create a new alien race and do that? That's what bothers me about the whole thing, is it's all so lazy. So, yeah, I think if they got rid of Kurtzman from having any direct say in how it's done and find somebody that's got passion for the original, somebody like Vic Mignogna or somebody along those lines, not J.J. Abrams, they could do a much better Star Trek. Crap, I'd be willing to look at a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek at this point. Just make it more like old Star Trek. That's what everybody needs. That's what I hear. I know the Gorn was the lizard man. I've seen Star Trek. He does have a skill. It's failing upwards. Yeah, that seems to be his skills, making millions off being incompetent. I won't mind looking into that myself, but here we are. All right, so on Bounding into Comics, we got some Masters of the Universe news. Kevin Smith reveals second half of Masters of the Universe Revelation shifts into an Evil Lynn story. Because that's what we needed. More girl stuff that nobody liked from the first half. Oh, look, there's Mary Sue Tila. Masters of the Universe Revelation, Kevin Smith has revealed that following a first half centered around Tila's quest to retrieve the two halves of the broken power sword. The second part of his recently released Netflix Poop Fest shifts into an Evil Lynn story. I paraphrase that sentence a little. Smith teased Evil Lynn's expanded role during a recent Netflix-hosted Q&A session in response to being asked, is Evil Lynn actually evil? It's in her name. Asserting that Evil Lynn is absolutely one of my favorite characters. Yeah, because you know so much about the characters you just learned about a week ago. Not just because Lena Headey gives what I feel is an award-winning performance or award-worthy performance, bringing this character to life, but also because we mirror Tila's journey with Evil Lynn's journey as well. Way to dodge the question. And he should have just been, yes, she's evil. Because that's kind of the point of her. She's a bad guy. You're talking about two women who have been in the shadows of very powerful male characters. Oh, evil male characters. Since the inception of the franchise, Smith continued, not true. Both characters have had excellent story arcs in the original as well as the 2002 remake, which I don't think Smith even knows existed. And Tila, fought side by side with He-Man, definitely like more of his equal. Oh, it's good you can finally admit that. Evil Lynn, though, was always Skeletor subservient. I disagree with that. To that end, Smith hypothetically asked fans, what would happen if those two figures were removed from their lives? Who do they get to be? They get to be themselves. They had personalities. And you've already killed He-Man, so fuck you. As we see in the first 5 episodes, there's goodness in Evil Lynn most people are complex creatures. As Orko points out, the showrunner added, but in the next 5 episodes, kids, it shifts into Evil Lynn's story that is so compelling, absolutely fascinating, satisfying, and heartbreaking. Oh, I can hear him weeping now, little crybaby. In conclusion to his tease, Evil Lynn's upcoming prominence, Smith declared that the Sorcerer's story had become his favorite part of the Masters Universe revelation. Everything's his favorite part. He loves everything because he's destroying it slowly, and he doesn't care about Masters of the Universe at all. As of this writing, it's unknown how and to what extent He-Man himself will factor into the more Evelyn-focused second half. He won't. This is a Teela story. I'd be shocked if He-Man's even really in it beyond more than just like bleeding out. What do you make of the tease second half? Blah, blah. I don't care. I think this is going to be dog shit, just like the first half. Lena Headey did a good job voice acting. She's a good actress. I got no issue with her performance. Sarah Michelle Gellar was a little flat, very unemotive. I don't think she knew really how to do the part, but I don't necessarily blame her because that's a director's job. But this story was such dog shit, I'm not going to be there to find out. I am curious to know how they're going to try and salvage this, if they're even going to bother, because it sounds like they haven't locked down the last couple episodes yet. I guess soundtrack on 8 just got locked down from what I heard, so we'll see. If Skeletor finger blasted Evelyn, is it considered boning? Yes! Yes, it is. Teela was at the shadow of anyone. She was captain of the guard. Yeah, she was the personal bodyguard of the prince. That's not a nobody. She's not in anyone's shadow. Kind of Destro for He-Man. Yeah, kind of. Evelyn wasn't focused on, but she was always portrayed as relatively competent. Yeah, she's not an incompetent character. Yeah, she's a minion of Skeletor's. That's the job of a minion. That doesn't make her less developed because she's not the head person. That's foolishness. Some of the other characters are less developed, like Beastman, because he's stupid. He's a dummy. He's a henchman. But Evelyn was his second in command. She wasn't some rando nobody. She was actually competent, unlike Beastman and Trapjaw, who were two idiots that Skeletor kept around to do kind of bitch work. Evelyn was a different story altogether. Oh, she was the personal bodyguard for the prince. She failed at her job. Yeah, because she just stood there while Skeletor walked up behind him and jacked him in the back, even though, oh yeah, spoilers, even though she was clearly looking right at him when it happened. So she watched that happen. So I guess that's her revenge. Teela's character was totally destroyed in that. Where Kevin Smith put his backbone and balls, probably in his wife's purse. Like to smother my put on the drone. Starfleet battles. Oh yeah, Starfleet battles. Oh man, that game is fun, but I'm awful at it. And drones were the way to go in that, yeah. All right, time for some My Hero Academia from comicbook.com. My Hero Academia creator pens apology over Hawks. Now, I thought that was like a street gang called the Hawks, but it's not. It's a person. I thought this was interesting because I know some of you guys watch anime and read mangas. So I assume somebody out there might be interested in this. My Hero Academia creator Kōhei, something I can't pronounce, has penned a public apology for an error concerning the character of Hawks. In his apology, Kōhei explains why a pivotal chapter of My Hero Academia's manga focused on Hawks also left out a key detail of his character. The error appeared in chapter 299, like those tragic tales, in which we learn the dark and disturbing origin story of Hawks. As an abused child who had a villain as a domineering father figure, the error had to do with how Hawks' dialect was presented in the issue, or how rather it wasn't. According to the translation of a statement from What's-His-Face, which you can see below, Hawks didn't speak in dialect in his PST's chapter 299. It's actually because I submitted the script too late. We didn't have time for dialect editorial. I'm sorry he didn't speak in dialect. It's definitely unclear if English language readers of My Hero Academia even noticed the error, as it could have been literally lost to translation. At the same time, What's-His-Face has faced numerous controversies for names or terms he used that carry offensive or a fragment sentence. So yeah, apparently he's gotten in trouble for bad, like offensive dialect stuff. Hawks has become a fan favorite breakout of My Hero Academia's latest arcs. Hawks' cool style is actually a big part of the character, as that hipster public persona masks the cunning and at times ruthless spy which he has turned out to be. That's all to say a sudden change in Hawks' dialect was probably noticeable to Japanese readers, but it was a change that What's-His-Face arguably could have explained away as the real Hawks talking in those moments and the dialect being an act. Hawks' duality was crucial during the war arc with League of Villains Paranormal Liberation Army, and he's become a member of some dude's elite squad of heroes who were hunting down All for One for a final battle. So the controversy is literally over the fact that the dialect was off. And that's actually kind of a big deal in Japan. People notice that it's not as simple as like, well, he normally sounds like a Southerner, and this time he sounded like he was British. It's actually a bit more cultural for them. So that's probably an actual controversy. Who do you play? I usually played Starfleet because nobody else wanted to play them. Every now and then Klingons, but I usually played Starfleet. Andromeda's broke the game. I agree. I got destroyed as often as I think I won 2 battles in Starfleet battles in my entire time playing. But I liked the game. It was just too complicated. I really want to play Federation and Commander, the simplified version of Starfleet battles. I think that'd be more my speed because I'm not a math nerd, and all the math involved in Starfleet battles got to be a little bit beyond me. So yeah, the creator actually apologized over. This is something I'm okay with apologizing over. Like you get the dialect wrong. Oh, Gorak, you got hit by a Google moderator. I don't know why, but you did. Apparently, they're not big fans of the Andromedans or something in Starfleet battles, but moderator hit you for something. So no more talking about Starfleet battles, I guess. No more board games. They don't like board games, I guess. My Saber Dance game was strong. Oh, nice. Yeah, Klingons are really good in that game. Similar to Chinese. Yeah. Okay, I get this. In Japan, a very different dialect can mean difference between meeting a friend and beating up a loved one in an extreme case. Yeah, the dialect really does matter. So this is something actually worthy of an apology because he might have said something really bad. Your message got deleted by a Google moderator. I don't know why. They don't tell us. It's not on my end. So I have no idea, man. I'm sorry. Cost of My Hero manga cost. Yeah, I don't know what they hit you for. All right, let's talk lawsuits. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Disney versus Scarlett Johannsen, why a ton of lawsuits may be next. This looks like Chinese propaganda. Let's set aside for a moment the question of whether Scarlett Johannsen has a legal leg to stand on in a fight with Disney over compensation for Black Widow. I don't know if she does or not, but the lawsuit's going forward so far, so we'll see. Let's even say she doesn't, and that she is, as Disney has publicly contended, greedy and indifferent to the horrors of the pandemic, which she did come out and say she was shocked by that statement, and I get it, because that was pretty fucking low of them. It doesn't matter, because even if all of it were true, industry insiders agree attacking Johannsen so personally was a pretty spectacular unforced error. Yeah, that was really bad publicity. And many observers are laying that at the feet of CEO Bob Chapek with an assist from reflexively vindictive top communications officer Zena Mucha and with approval from the lawyers. I think it was a really stupid move to attack her personally like that and shift blame to the pandemic because it kind of made them look like they're guilty and they look like assholes. Disney's public image has been really, really going downhill lately, and they are not pulling it up out of that tailspin. Oh, good, I missed most of the stream. Thanks, YouTube. Well, they just hit Gorak for some reason on his message, so it's been one of those days. How you doing, Oki? I'm not blaming you. Like I said, all 20 volumes of Hero, and they're like $13 each. Wow. Yeah, that gets pricey, man. I don't get that. Got shipping costs. Hi, Angela. Yeah, I'm still going. Used MH or volume. I don't know why they hit Shigorok. That might have just been some automated crap. They have a lot of weird terminology and stuff, and if you spell something wrong, it'll look like a naughty word. And you know, they do what they're gonna do either way, with or without my permission. So the person who isn't getting the blame, outgoing chairman Bob Iger. Somebody's playing it like an amateur, said one former Disney executive. Iger's no amateur. The top executive at a rival studio agrees, adding that the whole confrontation seems ill-advised and avoidable. Absolutely agree with that. Adding that the whole it's insane to me, insane, he says. Do you think on Bob Iger's watch he would ever have allowed a piece of talent to sue them? I don't know about that, but this is really bad publicity because it does look like they're up to no good, especially after Alan Dean Foster and other writers are complaining they're not getting paid their royalties, and the guys that wrote the Predator screenplay are having to sue Disney over that. If this keeps up, Disney's ending up in a snowball effect of legal problems, and it's really foolish of them to do that because they seem to want to fight for things they don't own or that they have no legal right to. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did violate the contract with Johansson. Do you think Bob Iger's I already read that. This executive notes that it's possible to settle such disputes by finding creative ways to pay stars without setting undesirable compensation precedents. Yep, that would require a lot of creative thinking, though, and they don't want to do that. A Disney insider says that blame for the statements is being placed unfairly at Chapek's feet, and that this was not a unilateral decision nor an edict from him. It is difficult, however, to discern who, if anyone on the studio side, was informed in advance. Somebody had to have approved that statement. Some lawyer somewhere, at the minimum, approved it, but some executive came up with this crap and ran it through at least one other person. Disney's posture is being read in Hollywood as Chapek signaling his indifference to star talent. Absolutely, and they're going to keep a lot of big stars away from them this way, especially because he's the new guy in town. But however indifferent he may be, there is one star Chapek at Disney absolutely unequivocally need. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, who's known to be very unhappy with the studio's attack on one of his superheroes. Well, he's been fucking things up lately too. Falcon and Winter Soldier is a good point in the column against him. We've seen before what happens when Feige gets unhappy after myriad clashes with star-unfriendly Marvel Entertainment chairman Ike Perlmutter, including over Feige's wishes to diversify the universe by making Black Panther and Captain Marvel. Perlmutter vanished from the equation amid a 2015 reported restructuring change by Iger. 2015 is when we started getting really woke, too. Like they doubled, tripled down on it. My sense was that the strained relationship was threatening Feige's continued success. Iger wrote in his memoir, and any threat to Feige and his success is simply not something that Disney fiduciary could allow. I think that power base is shifting, though, because he's had a few unsuccessful things now. It's hard to imagine that anyone else on the creative side, Chief Content Officer Alan Horn, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy, Pixar's Pete Doctor, I don't know, is any happier about having to deal with talent who have witnessed the studio lashing out at a star who, as CAA's Brian Lord pointed out in his unusual public statement, has been Disney's partner on 9 movies, which has earned Disney and its shareholders billions. Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff for Disney, not just the superhero stuff either. She's been in previous productions for them, and she's supposed to be in Towering Inferno, or Tower of Terror, I think it is. Based on that ride, I don't fucking know. I don't really care. And this could jeopardize that. It appears clear that Chapek, who has been, as noted in Johansson's lawsuit, rewarded on Wall Street for his focus on building Disney Plus, believes it is time to establish that the days of the epic 8 or 9 figure profit sharing paydays are over. He is hardly alone in that belief. Other media giants are also all about the upfront one-time payment. That's the older way of doing things. And those profit participations may not seem remotely sane to most people. Well, that depends how badly you want the job. If you're a nobody, that's a good business tactic to get your name recognized and then negotiate something better later. But talent and their representatives fought for and won them, and obviously now they're going to fight to keep them. That's just common sense. You're getting big bennies, you want to keep them. In time, Johansson is likely to have company on the battle lines. It's a much bigger existential fight that she's really leading. I agree with that, says producer Jason Blum. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's really brave to do, and she's fighting for all of talent. Yeah, very few of which are joining her. Financially, Blum is set for multiple lifetimes, but still wants streamers to share revenue with talent and success. He acknowledges his hypocrisy in that he just signed a rich deal with Universal to make 3 Exorcist films for a large but flat upfront fee, a model that he hopes isn't sustainable. No, it's very sustainable. The alternative is paying the talent, he notes, is paying the corporation, and how he asks is that better. Disney has been positioning itself as the adversary in chief for many months. Chapek, who did a stint in home video before moving on to consumer products and then to theme parks, has been leaning on members while leaving the messy talent relations businesses to executives and our executives at the studio. It's hardly even an easy job as he took the helm at a time of crisis, which shuttered theme parks and movie theaters. I think that's an excuse, not a reason. The guy just doesn't want to pay royalties. He's trying to nickel and dime. He's a numbers guy, and he doesn't want to pay out royalties. That's pretty obvious from the way they're treating Timothy Zahn and Alan Dean Foster, all the other writers that they owe royalties to and aren't paying, the guys that want their rights back for Predator, everybody else that's come up in the last couple of years wanting their paycheck. He doesn't want to pay royalties, and if Disney doesn't want to do it, they're not going to do it. And they'll probably just destroy people in lawsuits because they can bury them in paperwork. But if there's enough lawsuits, it's going to hurt Disney because they can't handle that kind of reputational damage. And the fact this is in Hollywood Reporter is a total shot across the bow by the industry. It wouldn't surprise me if Johansson's team's behind this article in some way, because this really names and shames them very, very openly. And Chapek got kind of smacked in the nuts over the Star Wars stuff already by Variety and Hollywood Reporter previously, and Forbes. So this is a real kick in the nuts to him. And I don't think they can take a whole lot more of this and fight all these legal battles and maintain their reputation. In December, Warner Media had a hold my beer moment when it moved its 2021 slate to HBO Max without warning. Hollywood struck back and Warner's got the memo, writing top dollar checks to important talent and committing to an exclusive theatrical run for its 2022 movies. If that had happened, there's little doubt that the studio would have been dragged into court before Disney. Yeah, they wrote some big checks from what I heard. Now Hollywood can focus its ire on the Chapek regime, not to suggest that agencies would ever collude. That would be illegal. But it would it'd be hardly surprising to see Disney face litigation next from a client represented by a different agency, maybe Emma Stone and WME. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Emma Stone does sue. There's been rumor going around that she will. Class action lawsuit for me. I heard that too, Elwolf, and it would not surprise me at all. And if it is, that Disney may not have enough cash on hand to fight that right now. They've been bleeding money, especially with mask mandates coming back. And there's theme parks, which are the real money makers, having been shut down for a year, probably a little over that. And then they've got cast member problems. They've got all these other issues going on. They've been bleeding cash like crazy, and everyone's mad at them. Not just because the cruise lines are down, which was also good revenue, but they've been pissing off movie theaters, and their streaming service is not making the numbers they need it to make. So they're in a little bit of a tight spot. Plus all that money they spent acquiring Fox, all those bills are coming due. They can't fight a whole bunch of lawsuits and that at the same time. Is it possible the royalties are slow nickel and diming the studios to death? It's possible, but I think they're just trying to prevent paying them because they're cheap. And it's just they don't want to pay it. Yeah, theaters were closed for a long time, so they had been sitting on like a dozen movies, not showing them. $20 billion plus cash on hand. They won't say why. Yeah, but their money for Fox and Star Wars is all coming up because they borrowed heavily on all of that. So I don't think they have as much money as you would think, because that 20 billion can go away real quick because their movies are tanking in China. The industry they've fought so hard to break into, and they've been bleeding money ever since. They've been pandering to China for better part of a decade now, and it's not working. Industry insiders say that with the battle begun, a lot of people want to sue a lot of people. That doesn't surprise me. What the streamers are betting on is that the next 3 to 5 years, there will only be 3 or 4 of them pumping content into homes, and they'll be so powerful they'll be able to push the price down by producing, paying talent, of paying producers, of paying writers and directors. I personally don't think they'll be able to do it, but that's what they're betting on. It's a risky gamble. That could really cripple you. Another prominent producer thinks they'll be able to do it, but doesn't think it'll be good for the industry. From this point on, it's just going to be work for hire. It's a huge sea change for everyone. You'll get a huge payment up front. It's just not going to be huge home runs anymore. And with time, those fees will get smaller. But having been offered such deals, this person says, it doesn't matter to me whether my movie is a huge hit or not. The pressure's off. He doesn't want to embarrass himself, but a project just needs to be good enough to get the next deal. Unfortunately, that seems to be the direction we're going. It's not about quality and the longevity of the movie. It's just about producing content. So you're looking at projects that are going to entertain you briefly and then be forgotten. That's all they care about, is in the moment. They don't care about it being gone with the wind that's going to be referenced and inspire people anymore. It just has to fulfill a need, an immediate need. And they don't care beyond that point. So I think we're going to see smaller levels of production, and a lot of people, you're not going to see as many big blockbusters because they're not going to want to spend that kind of money. For the $50 million for one movie, you could make 10 movies at $5 million. They don't have to be entertaining. They just have to get watched, and you have to have content. So smaller production, it might kill the movie industry, but they don't care. They're going to send it straight to these streaming services and look like they have new content, and a lot of rubes will go for it. Blum concurs on a streaming movie if you're not participating in the upside or downside. I think that compromises the creative process. It says, continuing he's counting on a ton of lawsuits in the hopes eventually there will be sharing and streaming, just like there have been for 50 years in this business. I think they're going to do everything they can to avoid giving any streaming money, because that would actually reveal some of their streaming numbers. And they don't want to show that, because if something's a failure, they don't want to admit to it. But this is an inevitable lawsuit. It wasn't that long ago that DVD sales and home video were the driving forces for residuals. Streaming's the new version of that. So they're not going to want to give up any more money. And I think they are going to go toward the work for hire thing, where you don't get residuals anymore or back end box office. They're going to try and do away with that. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing. We'll see how this lawsuit plays out. I think Scarlett Johannsen's got a 50-50 shot. If it becomes class action, it might get better because there'll be more people fighting it. But we'll see. Well, the talent payouts have been outrageous for decades anyway. Yeah. They'll probably just negotiate a smaller payout. I don't want them to be taken advantage of, but several millions for a few months' work. Yeah, it's most of these stars are vastly overpaid for what they do anyway. So we'll see. I think their pay is going to go down, but they probably will get some kind of residuals off of it. You can see making something watchable for $5 million. Oh yeah, lots of good movies have been made for that, but they don't care about quality anymore or memorable movies. They just care about churning out content. So from Cosmic Book News, Batgirl movie news, J.K. Simmons in talks for playing Commissioner Gordon. You may remember him from such classics as Law and Order, where he played Skoda, the psychologist, and playing J. Jonah Jameson, and in Batman vs. Superman, he played Commissioner Gordon. Now he's going to play the father of a Latino Batgirl? Huh. Does that mean she's going to have some internalized white privilege? That's interesting. It is reported that J.K. Simmons is currently in talks to reprise his role as Commissioner Gordon for the upcoming Batgirl movie coming to HBO Max, starring Leslie Grace as the first Latina version of the character. Well, she'd be half Latina now because Barbara Gordon is his daughter. The news comes from The Hollywood Reporter on Deadline, where it is offered J.K. Simmons is in negotiation to come back as Commissioner Gordon, and that Simmons will star in the movie opposite In the Heights actress Leslie Grace. You just said that. It is also said J.K. Simmons is in talks to return to the Batman universe, which sounds as if the Batgirl movie will be in the same continuity as the Zack Snyder and Ben Affleck Batman movies. Now that's interesting. So I thought he did a good Commissioner Gordon. He looks the part pretty well. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought that was fine. So we'll see where this goes. It was previously rumored that a new actor was being sought for the role of Commissioner Gordon, with it thought to be a Latino actor, obviously because Leslie Grace is Latina. Why don't they just set this in New Mexico? But if Simmons is back as Gordon, that would mean Gordon's wife is Latina, and that Barbara Gordon is adopted, which would be stupid. Rumors have also offered that Michael Keaton's Batman that returns in the Flash movie will serve as a mentor to Batgirl. So if that's the case, the Michael Keaton Batman will also be involved in the Ben Affleck universe instead of Batgirl being in the same universe as Keaton or a part of the multiverse. That would be convoluted and stupid, which means that's probably what they're going to do. This could also mean the rumors surrounding a Ben Affleck Batman HBO movie project or Batman HBO Max project are true. That'd be good. As if J.K. Simmons is sticking around and they are not casting a different Commissioner Gordon for the multiverse. You can have more than one Commissioner Gordon. I don't fucking care. Simmons could be returning in an Affleck Batman project as well, and that the Snyderverse isn't getting totally rebooted, but continuing on HBO Max in some form. That would probably be the best way to do it, and you could just have crossovers as needed. She doesn't look anything like Batgirl. Look, redhead white girl, dyed kind of blonde highlights. She's a good-looking actress. Like, I do fun things with her, but she's not Barbara Gordon. So the real news here is J.K. Simmons getting cast, if this comes to fruition and if the rumor's true, could mean there would be more Ben Affleck Batman, which I'd be fine with, and that would actually be interesting. I'm willing to see how the movie goes, but I do not like the race swapping. I think that's lazy and pathetic and more hand-me-down characters. But I've complained about that before. Oh, yeah, another redhead gone. Yep. Affleck was good as Bruce Wayne and as Batman. Yeah, I mean, he was fine. Thought he was okay as Batman. The movies and sucked donkey ass, though. Yeah, I can see that. I didn't have a problem with the movies. I thought they were okay. All right, and last article of the evening. This comes from CBR. Spirited Away makes a strong case against corporate culture. I've never seen Spirited Away because these faces all creep me out. Where's your nose? That little portholes. You look like a gray. And you look like a frog. And I don't know. You look like you probably are absconding away with something behind your back. And you're horrifying. She has a criminally shaped forehead. Yes, she does. Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away enchanted us 20 years ago with a world full of magic and wonder, but it also had a lot to say about corporate culture. Let's learn how this fantasy tale told us about cubicle workers. An iconic Studio Ghibli film, Spirited Away enchanted viewers 20 years ago when it hit the silver screen with its exploration of a world of magic and wonder. The story follows 10-year-old Chihiro, I don't know, who had just moved to a new town with her parents. On the way to their new home, the family takes a brief break from driving to explore a seemingly abandoned park, only to end up in some kind of spirit world where Chihiro's parents are turned into pigs for helping themselves to some foods. Oh, thieves. To set her parents free and return to their world instead of making bacon out of them, Chihiro is forced to work in a bathhouse. What? Owned by a terrifying entrepreneur known as Yubaba, exposing her to a different type of danger. Yeah, perverts, apparently. Along the way, let's just call her Chihiro. Makes new friends and allies as she works to survive in this other world. A bathhouse? Ugh. Hope it wasn't anywhere near the city. Spirited Away explores many themes ranging from friendship, family, staying true to oneself, and personal values. In fact, one major subplot of the film that dives deeply into all three is the grossingly dehumanizing nature of corporate culture and its vile tendency to foster toxic work environments. That's what I get out of fantasy films. Oh, they are frogs. Yeah, nailed it. Spirited Away was great. Your problem with the characters is a valid point, however. I'm sorry, they creep me out. That's my problem with anime and manga. Everything looks creepy. Wasn't about corporate culture, it was about a girl learning to grow up. Yeah, to work in a bathhouse, apparently. A bathhouse for spit tits. Spirits. Oh, Jesus. I was like, her job was to spit on titties? That's weird. Well, corporate culture isn't the narrative's primary focus. No! I thought staplers were talking to her in this in some sort of weird Beauty and the Beast knockoff. The director of Spirited Away, Hayao Miyazaki, I don't know, makes a strong, unapologetic argument against it all the same. With Yubaba's bathhouse business, Miyazaki explores three major hallmarks of corporate culture he feels characterize toxic workplaces: narcissistic leadership, disgruntled and demotivated employees, an obsession with profits at the expense of personal growth. I don't think that so much corporate culture is just good business sense. Whenever you hire people for low-paying jobs, they tend to be disgruntled people anyway, and not very motivated because they're not getting paid a whole lot. And you tend to get one idiot in every bunch who doesn't want to do it anyway. Narcissistic leadership, you get that with a lot of middle managers, regardless of type of business. An obsession with profit at the expense of personal growth. What does that mean? Well, an obsession with profit is kind of the point of business. At the expense of personal growth, though, I'm confused by that. That seems like a very generic, broad statement. So I'm not sure where they're going with this. Yeah, I was the narcissistic boss of Spirited Away. Get that thing removed, weirdo. Your giant monster head. One of the identifying markers of a corporate culture that fosters a poor work environment is a toxic manager. True. I don't like your constant use of the word toxic here, though. I think learn a new word. Specifically, a manager with a narcissistic personality or narcissistic traits. You've said that already. There are the types of bosses who tend to have favorite employees, known as golden children, and workers they abuse in both overt and covert ways, known as scapegoats. Yeah, that's the sign of a bad boss. These managers are known to create power imbalances within their own teams, typically by love bombing their favorite and gaslighting their scapegoats. You like the word gaslighting, don't you? Because that's not appropriate here. They achieve these imbalances via triangulation, wherein they essentially use employees as third parties for communicating with other employees they find troublesome. That's just a lazy boss. Yubaba, Spirited Away's primary antagonist, is this type of manager with a name that literally translates to hot water old hag in Japanese. Yeah, well, she's the bad guy. That's why she's doing bad things. That's a creepy looking... This movie would give me nightmares. Throughout Spirited Away, Yubaba possesses a lot of traits associated with narcissistic personality disorder. You know this is a fictional character, right? A cluster B disorder characterized by the grandiose sense of self-importance. Often what bad guys have, yes. Other symptoms include a strong desire for admiration, a lack of empathy, a tendency to react poorly to criticism, and become angry when things don't go their way. Yes, we all know this. People with NPD are also known to take advantage of others, take credit for their contributions, and fantasize about power and success. Okay. One example of Yubaba's inflated sense of self-importance is the extravagant lifestyle she lives in the penthouse atop her bathhouse, while her employees are only given the bare minimum living accommodations. As a business owner, she likes to project the image of power and success, which is what you probably should do as a business owner, and especially craves the admiration of her clients. That would ingratiate you to them, I suppose. She most likely uses material wealth as compensation for her perceived shortcomings, which she also achieves at her employees' expense. So most likely, so that's not really written in there. Oh, okay. As an employer, Yubaba is shown to be extremely controlling, scolding people over a lack of decorum and exploding with anger at the slightest act of defiance. Yeah, that's the sign of a shitty boss. She's verbally, psychologically, and emotionally abusive toward potential employees as well as her own. This is most notable when Churro asks Yubaba for a job in her bathhouse. Creepy. Her response is to dismiss Churro as a weakling she has no use for, which also shows her lack of empathy. You don't have to give someone a job just because they came and asked for it, you weirdo. She further bullies Churro by calling her a lazy, spoiled, stupid crybaby. Maybe she is a lazy, spoiled, stupid crybaby. I have no information otherwise, but that may have just been her impression, which is highly unprofessional. Professionalism can be overrated. Yubaba also disrespects personal boundaries when she touches Churro and literally breathes down her neck without consent. Who would give consent for that? Which makes her very uncomfortable. Yeah, that's probably the point, is to make her uncomfortable, you idiot. Spirited Away further reveals Yubaba's lack of empathy by dehumanizing the way she treats her employees like property, having them sign their names on her contracts. She literally steals their full identities by removing all but one kanji from their names and changes their name reading to the Onyumi Chinese reading. In Chiro's case, both of the kanji in her name use the Kunyomi Japanese reading, meaning great height. When her name is reduced to the sole kanji of Chi, Kunyomi, also read as Sen, Onyomi, she's reduced to the reading of 1,000, effectively reducing her to a number. As far as rankings go, reducing her name to 1,000 effectively brings her down to rock bottom, an obvious contrast to her name's full meaning. This strongly illustrates how lowly Yuba thinks of Churro. Yeah, well, that's pretty common. I don't understand why you think this is some big deal. This is pretty common for how shitty employers treat people. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with corporate culture. It's just a bad person doing bad things. She's the bad guy of it. It's like she's a villain or something. Yeah, I know. It's like they've never seen a bad guy. This is so fucking stupid. When Churro starts working at the bathhouse, Yuba continues the abuse by assigning her the most humiliating job she can offer, bathing a filthy river god who's literally been heavily polluted by human activity. She originally mistakes the river god for a stink spirit. Yubaba's initial attitude toward it is disgust, and she avoids all contact. Well, if you think it's a stink spirit, you would. Instead, she forces Churro to handle all the physical contact with the spirit and expose herself to filth. This delights Yubaba. Yeah, because she's not doing it. She's the bad guy. Why are you not getting this? Well, initially a scapegoat, Yubaba begins to love bomb Churro after her first job with the river spirit earns her a great fortune, succinctly infiltrating her self-serving nature. When it comes to her other employees, Yubaba is shown to dispose of anyone she no longer finds useful. Yeah, well, like a shitty person would do. This is most notable with Haku, who starts out as her golden child before an injury renders him useless to her, so she seeks to get rid of him. Yubaba is similarly unfazed by 3 of her employees being nearly killed by No-Face, whoever that is, because it's not explained, as she is far more concerned about the latter costing her a fortune. Again, I don't understand. This is what bad guys do. Kanji and Rin are spirited away as disgruntled, demotivated employees. Yeah, you would be if you worked for this evil person. Second major identifier of corporate culture. Is this somebody's, homework? Is this an essay somebody did for some entry-level college class? Second major identifier of corporate culture that fosters a toxic work environment is disgruntled, demotivated employees tend to be overworked and often experience burnout. They are working in Asia. Another symptom is maybe it's more a commentary on the corporate culture in Asia, but so far I'm just seeing people working for a scumbag. Yeah, exploited, blah, blah, blah. There's strong evidence that Yuba runs an unreasonably tight ship and very readily scapegoats any employees forget their place or don't follow her specific rules. Okay. Kanji even describes himself as a slave to the boiler room. He irritably comes to a place of being overworked as he responds to multiple orders at once and acts unfriendly towards anyone who bothers him while working. Well, he's overworked, so yeah, he's probably a little bit grouchy. He treats his assistants harshly, which just makes him a dick too, which is also symptomatic of his stress. Yeah. This article is dumb. I don't know what this movie's really about, but it doesn't. It sounds like they're reaching here. It's not until Chiro proves herself resilient against Yubaba, and the Rin changes her attitude and becomes the young girl's greatest ally. This hints at two possible reasons for her inconsistent behavior. Either Rin puts on a tough act during working hours to protect herself against the abuse from Yubaba, or she is in fact genuinely scared of the consequences of being seen with Chiro. In the later case, she made herself look loyal to Yubaba the only way she knew would be acceptable, only lowering her guard around Chiro when she felt it was safe to do so. Both are still indicative of the toxic work environment. Everything is toxic. When Rin gets a chance to be alone with Chiro unsupervised, she shares her desire to escape her current situation and pursue a different life in the nearby town. Okay. That's called bonding. People at work do this too when they're goof off when their boss isn't around and talk to each other. No Face was a spirit wearing a blank mask. Wow, they literally stole a Dick Tracy villain. A lot of Dick Tracy villains coming up these days. Less reaching and more pulling things completely out of their ass. Exploited, blah, 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 commie BS, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that sounds right. This isn't what happens either. I'm not surprised. This sounds like a bunch of proletariat rise up crap. Bathhouse is all profit, no personal growth. It's a bathhouse. I guarantee you there's some personal growth going on. The final red flag of corporate culture that also fosters a toxic work environment is being all profit and no personal growth. It is not your employer's job to make you grow as a person. I hate to break it to you, young people. That's just not how it works. You are not at work to grow as a person unless it suits the company's needs. That is not what they're there. You are there to do their bidding for your 8 or 9 hours and then get the hell off the property as fast as they can get you off because they don't need you. And you're not going to get off in the fun way. Japanese bathhouses are public family places to bath. I know, but it's still funny. And I bet they have some of the fun bathhouses. I've seen their documentaries in my XXX collection. It's full of lots of documentaries. Saucy Asians. Yubaba is exactly this throughout Spirited Away, as she has zero investment in her employees. Of course, she views them as literally sub-people. Remember that a lot of the Asian countries still have a caste system. It's just unofficial. For her, they're just a means to an end. Yeah, they're just employees to do her work. But this mindset is present in the employer's behavior as well, most notably when No Face poses as a wealthy customer. Okay, it's part of the plot. As a quintessential narcissist, Yubaba also always welcomes more gold in her pocket, and her employees are equally obsessed with it. Well, if the employees are equally obsessed with money, that wouldn't make them good guys either. They have little to motivate them except avoiding Yubaba's wrath and obsessively pursuing any opportunities to obtain personal wealth. Yeah, because everybody in the middle, the poor times, I guess, the Edo period, whatever, they were all dirt farmers. They all worked for somebody else. This was their only chance of bettering themselves and getting any money. So yeah, they all look like poor people. This is the very weakness No Face exploits, effectively showcasing how working at Baba's bathhouse has contributed to their own personal regression. I doubt that. They all look like poor local villagers. Not only are the employees willing to overwork themselves for profit, well, I like money, but they are even robotic in the way they comply with demands if they think it'll earn more gold. Yeah, because they would like to probably better their station in life and not eat dirt anymore. At no point do any of them question No Face as a customer. Why would they? Nor do they limit the type of services they're willing to offer a single person. They take advantage of Yubaba being asleep or a way to help themselves. Well, yeah, they know they're being taken advantage of. It's well, when I worked in an office, we called that profit sharing. It's like when you steal staples or pens or something. I never participated, but there were people that went home every day with like 3 or 4 pens or a stapler or something dumb like that, and they called that their profit sharing. They want to pay off the debt to her and leave. Oh, no, that makes too much sense. No, this is corporations making you greedy. Greed is bad. What, you want to better yourself, you filthy mongrel? It's the Magic Spirit Tits world, not Ito. Yeah, I know, but it's set in that same sort of period where there's obviously very poor people and people that are on top merchant class. So I understand that it's not the real thing, but it's a spit tits world. As this is the end result of Yubaba's unethical business practices and abusive behavior. Her dehumanization is so thorough, her employees collectively don't see themselves as individuals anymore. A lot of Asians are much more collectivist. That's why communism is so much more well regarded in places like China. Except for a few select beings like Haku, Rin, Kamaji, and Chiro, and have been reduced to nothing more than cogs in Yubaba's larger machine. They may have just accepted their station in life too, which is very common in those type of periods. They also have one collective goal, obtain more gold, and 0 individual personalities. That sounds like more of a production issue with not giving them personalities for being background characters, but they are not the main character. It's also a truly tragic sight to see. That is literally the point Miyazaki's making in Spirited Away depiction of corporate culture. I think that's just a depiction of these people as their lives existed in this spit tits world, and not necessarily a take on corporate culture. It's just an abusive person running this place, and she's abusive to all her people, and her people are obsessed with trying to get out of their station in life and become better financially than they would be otherwise. So it sounds more like it's people just trapped in their position than anything else. I don't really have a problem with the greed per se. I think that's a bit of a misleading statement. I think this is a misunderstanding of the movie. Now, granted, I admit I haven't seen this movie, but based on the chat comments, I'm suspecting that this is something they're taking vastly out of context and trying to find something that really isn't there. It's just more of the surf class trying to get a little bit extra, and they don't have a lot of personality traits ingrained in them. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Some left the key in a Bobcat and some drughead got into it and is driving around. Oh, dude, that's funny. Jack, you're thinking of Kimura era by Ito. Everybody was a dirt farmer. Yeah, that's probably it. But you get what I'm saying. This is obviously a time period when there's a caste system, and Yubaba, or whatever her name is a merchant class, and the underlings that worked for her are considered more like untouchables, who are very, very low class, have very few rights, and you can abuse them because they're considered nobodies. Background characters do not warrant Charles Dixon's introduction. Yeah, no shit. That's exactly right, Assassin. They are literally there to do their part, and that's it. You're not supposed to think so deeply into them. And I think that this being a foreign film I think they're reading into it something that is probably a cultural difference. Let's put on night shift. Oh, yeah. That's probably a good idea. Complete misunderstanding of the movie. I found it to be a heartwarming coming-of-age story. Yeah, I think that's how most people are probably interpreting it. And it's probably aimed at a much younger audience. I don't think this has anything to do with corporate culture. I think their case is very thin, and it read like a high school or freshman level college essay. Sen was a little crybaby in the start and spoiled. She was whining in the start because she had to move to a new town. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And she had to grow up and learn things the hard way. First responders just got here, so I'll be right back. All right, be careful, man. All right, that's all the articles I had for tonight. I thought the Spirited Away article would be interesting because I haven't really seen the movie, but I figured some of you guys had. And I was intrigued to see your take on the corporate culture of it. Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. A single operator isn't a establishment, isn't a corporation. No, that'd be more of a like an LLC or something. But it's set in a past time period in an alien spirit world where people spit on each other's tits. Apparently, overanalyze the heck out of this. Yeah, yep, that was a movie about Baba was more or less trying to or about growing up. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So yeah, sometimes growing up and getting a job sucks ass. And sometimes you end up in a bathhouse spitting on people's tits. I don't know why, but you do. Oops, alarm's going off. That's my cue. Baizu wrote this. 100%. 100% some Baizu wrote that. Teacher, yeah. And that's something that I think we're missing a lot in modern films is there doesn't have to be a deep message to everything. Sometimes you can have just a nice, simple, entertaining story, particularly about growing up. Young people like that sort of thing. They all want to be a few years older. That's why high schoolers, books aimed at them tend to be about adults or college students. Middle schoolers, their models tend to be high schoolers. And elementary kids, they tend to like books about middle schoolers or entertainment based around that because they want somebody that they think they can aspire to be. And that tends to be a better growing up, coming of age type storyline. And what this seems to be is a drastic misunderstanding of that based on a modern perspective of a 20-year-old film that was just a straightforward, simple story. And they're looking for themes in there that just aren't there, so they're creating them. It's very disheartening to see that, but unfortunately we see a lot of that now because now everything is messaging. It's now all about propaganda being ham-fistedly wedged in there, so when they see something that doesn't have that, it's very much alien to them. Unfortunately. This wasn't the Iliad, for fuck's sake. Yeah, exactly. But they think it is, and they think there has to be some sort of hidden message because, first of all, the messages hidden these days aren't very well hidden, but they're used to that. They're used to this social justice wedged in messaging, and they can't get away from it. They think it's always been in everything, and that's just not the case. There was a long time where things were just entertainment, and when there was messaging, it was a lot more subtle, and they were so desperate to find that in everything that something as simple as a coming of age story, where that's literally the depth of it, is overanalyzed to the point where they're trying to find comments. Can you please not tell them about? I've never heard of that, so I'll be glad to not tell them about it. So yeah, but yeah, anybody have any questions or anything? Because I'm going to wrap up soon. It looks like people are starting to drift out, and I'm going to have to wrap up here in a minute. Oh, yeah, I probably did cut out for a second. Sorry. There's a lot of stuff they're gladly going to ruin, man. So buckle in, Merle. If they can't find a way to subvert it, they will destroy it or just make sure it never gets reproduced. That's why I've gotten back into physical media more, because a lot of stuff's getting changed or re-edited or just memory hold by not being put available on platforms anymore, and they're not reproducing stuff. So random spit tits is here to stay. Right? How do we get out of this chicken shit outfit? I don't know, man. I wish I had the answers, but I don't. I can only tell you about the problems and give you my thoughts on them and warn you. And I read a lot of the news and try and keep up on this, but the culture war is really where it's going to be at. You have to win hearts and minds. And if we want classic entertainment back, we're going to have to fight for it or create our own. And you got to monitor what all these psychopaths are doing by destroying everything that we love. It's disgusting. Now I have to write a 5-page report on this idiot. Oh, that sounds awful. Good luck, Gorhawk. I like Princess Mononoke. I remember thinking it was okay. But I'm not big on anime stuff. The best anime I remember seeing was They Were 11. And that's about the only one I have any real memory of. I think Akira's vastly overrated, which is probably going to cost me some viewers. But, I just think that was a very generic movie. I like She-Man. Oh, well, we all like our different things. Fun to Space Station. Space Stations would be cool. An alien reference. You fail. Yeah, I know. That happens a lot. No, I'm too lazy for that. Frosted. It was good. Lynn-for-me. Nope. I don't know what that was. You might like Cowboy Bebop. The animation is more comic style. I've seen a couple episodes of that, and it seemed okay. Full Metal Alchemist seemed pretty good, too. I saw a few episodes of that. A buddy of mine was real into that, and he wanted me to watch it. And I've seen a few episodes of that and Evangelion, and that looked okay, but it just wasn't my thing. Akira was disturbing. Mainly, it was the most expensive animation of its time. Yeah, I just thought it was generic, and I've seen other stuff like it, so I didn't really. It didn't do anything for me. I thought Ghost in the Shell was way better. Fist of the North Star. I saw that a long, long time ago on early VHS release, but I have no memory of it whatsoever. First animation movie that made it big in the West. Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's overrated. Only Ed has the animation style design. No. Well, like I said, I'm not big on anime and manga, but that really came of age after I kind of passed the target demographic for it. Ninja Scroll was really good. That was weird fun. There's a great movie I think it's called Ninja Wars, that was sort of like Ninja Scroll, and it had the same kind of goofy bad guys. And there's this great scene where the guy says something like, "Now you will see the true power of a ninja," and then he spits venom at him. It was weird, like a spider guy. It wasn't as good as The Story of Ricky O. That's a freaking classic because it was so bad and so over the top. It was like a live action manga, but it was so much fun. I've got it on Blu-ray. I had to track it down, and it was worth every penny. Yeah, I'm not a big anime style fan. That explains why I don't like a lot of Disney stuff, though, Elwolf. Elfin Lied, watch that in Kamiko Deluxe. I'm not sure what that is. Should give anime and manga a try. They have a lot of good stories depending on the genre. You'll find some gems. Yeah, I've been meaning to. It's expensive, and I don't really want to spend the money on something I may not like, especially if the art styles that big eyes, wide mouth crap. That stuff creeps me out. It's like looking at wide mouth puppets the whole time. Three Ninjas is not the best ninja movie. Not even close. Evolved. Nice try, though. American Ninja, way better. Full Metal Panic was fun. I never saw that one. All right, well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out. Watch cartoons online, Kako. Yeah, I'm not. No felonies in the chat. Surf Ninjas. Surf Nazis Must Die was a better movie. Surf Ninjas. Jeez. There's plenty of places to find them online where you can test the waters. Yeah, I don't like doing that. I don't like reading things online. I get eye strain, and I'd rather just have the print. So I'd rather just support them that way, because even if I hate it, at least they're getting compensated for it. Last Dragon is best ninja movie. That is a fun movie. City Dragon was way cheesier, though. Anime is actually getting away from that style. Oh, good. Six String Samurai is a very underrated movie, and it's where I first heard the Red Elvises. Well, thanks, Jack. Thanks for coming out. No, nobody. No, I'm not doing that. Evolved. Streaming is not illegal for the person watching. I'm still not taking the chance. I'd rather just give them the money, and if I don't like it, I'll give the DVD or whatever to somebody. That's usually how I do it. I just I don't want to mess with any of that. It's too much of a hassle, and I'm way too lazy. But thank you all for coming out. Thank you for the donations. It's greatly appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And share it around in social media. That's always appreciated, and it really helps the algorithm. But you guys are awesome for coming out. And I will try and look into some anime and manga at some point. I make no guarantees. I just don't have a lot of free time as it is. Mom's getting a little bit better from recovery from her stroke, but still got a long way to go on that front. So I got to focus on helping her out before I can really get to too much. But I should have a video out tonight on bad comic reviews and a patron video for you guys that are patrons. I'm hoping to have that up tonight before I go on Monkey in the Morning, but no promises, but it will be up sometime tonight or very early in the morning. So thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting me. Like I said, I really, really do appreciate it. And if you want to watch a video, here's a link to one of the ones on the other channel. And I'll drop one from Roll for Sanity too, because there's a newer video over there. Should be a new video up for that on Thursday as well. But it's awesome seeing you guys. Thanks for coming out. And hopefully we'll see you on Friday for Friday Night Comics. And we will see you on the next one.